What we'll do here is just briefly review the composition of our board and staff status as of now. We'll be going through the annual financial statement. We'll just highlight the completed projects that Les has alluded to, a couple of other projects that are ongoing, the work we're doing in the Industrial Heartland, and the work on Vermilion, a brief membership update, and then we'll outline our draft ideas for the strategic plan for next year. So this will be very high level. So as you know, we as a society have a board of 18 directors. In 2009, we revised our bylaws and expanded the board somewhat. And we brought in primarily 4 new industry seats, forestry, petroleum, utility, and the downstream petrochemical sector. So 2009 was, is that better? There we go. 2009 was a big change for NSWA's board structure. And as you see the distribution of seats, currently we have 3 municipal, 2 utility, 2 provincial government, 2 NGO, 1 from the City of Edmonton, an agricultural rep, 1 rep from the federal government, 1 from upstream petroleum, 1 member at large, 1 industrial, 1 forestry, First Nations, and Métis. Next slide, please. The current officers for the preceding year, 2011-12, Dr. Lescami has been acting as president. Pat Alexander, Reeve Pat Alexander, has been our vice. Bob Kitching from Brazeau has been our treasurer. And Candace Vannon from Ag Canada has been our secretary. And again, these are the remaining members of our board. Bill Fox, representing Alberta Beef. Bill's out at Elk Point. Tracy Scott, representing Ducks Unlimited. Tracy's been on the board for many, many years. Jamie White from Alberta Agriculture had also been on the board for many years. Andrew Shep from Environment. City of Edmonton, of course, has been a strong supporter and sponsor of NSWA. And Sid Lodowick had been acting in that capacity. There was a transition this winter to Liliana Milosevic, and there's going to be another transition today, but the City of Edmonton is still a strong participant. Dr. Laurie Danielson represents the Northeast Capital Industrial Association, based out of Fort Saskatchewan, as Executive Director of NCIA. Dr. Naomi Krokman from the University of Alberta is our member at large. Patrick Gordeco is a councillor with the County of Two Hills. Patrick has been extremely involved in the Vermilion Watershed project. He's the chair of that sector. Bob Winship from Weyerhaeuser, Drayton Valley. Rod Cows, representing TransAlta. Sorry, I see a spelling error right there. Rod Cows, representing TransAlta. Ted Bentley has just stepped down. He represented Paddle, Alberta. Aaron Rodvolson, upstream oil and gas, the Husky Ram River plant. And we've had 2 vacancies for the last couple of years with the Aboriginal First Nations and Aboriginal Métis. However, this year we have a candidate for the Métis position. Our staff complement has been similar to what it's been for the past couple of years, although we're undergoing some transitions shortly. Gord Thompson has been working as our technical coordinator, working on a variety of technical projects and doing a lot of work on the Industrial Heartland. Tom Cottrell has been the IWP coordinator and also working on a few other projects. Melissa Logan, we took on as a basic planner about a year ago. Melissa has worked on several projects, including the Atlas here recently. Megan Matthews is our admin. She's on maternity leave right now. So we have a little bit of a hole to fill there. And we'll be looking at that immediately. And myself. And Billy Milholland, I'm sorry I skipped over Billy, who's our communications manager. So for your information, several staff work on a part-time basis, 4 days a week or 3 days a week. A couple of us are on 5 days a week. So we make up about the equivalent of 5 FTEs. And Graham, who moved to British Columbia last year, we created a special status for him as an associate in NSWA. So Graham has been with us for several years, well since 2007, I guess, and transitioned to BC, and he's starting a new job down there shortly. But he's been working on a contract on the Vermilion project. So I'd like to thank everybody on the board, particularly on the staff, for a really diligent year. There's a lot of big projects here, and pretty complex processes to go through. The IWMP was well conceived years ago, and certainly went through a lot of evolution. And through that process, I think the board and staff evolved quite a bit. We learned a lot about the society. We learned a lot about how the board should function. As with almost all other WPACs, we've had some growing pains, but I think mostly constructive. And this spring, this past winter, we struck a subcommittee of the board to look at board governance. A pretty fundamental thing, but we're in the middle of the work and flying through it as hard as we could, and it was becoming apparent over the last year that there was some things at the board level we needed to clarify. So we had Laurie, Bob, and Pat Alexander the board struck a subcommittee, a governance subcommittee. Got some really good suggestions. We had a really good retreat in May. It was facilitated by Catherine Owen from Calder Bateman. And I think we're on a really good track now in terms of clarifying just how the board will be positioned. It's the issue, whether it's a management board or a policy board or something in between. We have some takeaway assignments to finish, but the bottom line is I think it's going to improve the society function, both as a society and as a WPAC. And that's very important. And likewise, the staff have been working extremely hard. A lot of production. Our main goal is to provide information and advice. So I'm quite proud of everything that the staff have accomplished here. Okay, so we'll just go to acknowledgements here. Of course, the City of Edmonton provides our offices and our IT, so a very substantial in-kind contribution from the city, as there is from EPCOR, and plus they both give us cash donations. Government of Alberta, currently ASRD, Alberta Environment and Sustainable Resource Development, provide our operating grant of $250,000 a year, so I'd like to thank them very much. We've had a variety of municipal donations from small urbans and counties, which is acknowledged. And then through Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, federal government, and the North American Waterfall Management Program, we've had funding for Vermilion. And then we have calculated in-kind support just by virtue of attendance at board meetings. We ran 9 board meetings this year, and we had subcommittees, so the directors really worked hard. Vermilion Steering Committee, Pat Gornico chaired it. Candace was actively involved as representing the NSWA board. And we had many representatives from the counties and towns in the Vermilion drainage, so there's a substantial in-kind donation to the effort there, and that is recorded in the statement, the financial statement. The IWMP Steering Committee didn't function specifically this year, but I didn't want to lose track of the fact that they were contributing thinkers to the original effort here. And I don't know if Sharon's here. Is Sharon Redick here today? She's supposed to be here. And Stephanie? I think Stephanie Feld and Sharon Redick may show up, but they were active on the IWMP steering. Thank you. And again, we are one of 11 WPACs in Alberta. So this has been an interesting evolution too. Move that slightly to the right here. I think you've all probably seen the map, but in the last 5 years, there's been 5 or 6 years, there's been many organizations appointed as WPACs. So there's one for each of the major river basins, ranging in the south from the Milk River Watershed Council, Canada, the Oban Council, South Saskatchewan, Siwa, Bow River Basin Council, Red Deer River Watershed Alliance, Battle River Watershed Alliance, Beaver, Lesser Slave Watershed Council, Athabasca Watershed Council, Peace River. So it's been a real interesting experience for everybody. Everybody's issues are different. The issues that we deal with on the North Saskatchewan are quite different from what we're dealing with on the Old Man of Milk. But the mandate, if I can use that word, is basically the same. We've been set up to do State of the Watershed reports, which NSWA finished in 2005. and watershed plans, integrated watershed management plans, which we have just finished here this week. So we meet every, there's Al. We meet every quarter, the managers, and we have an annual summit. And my point here is that there's a growing amount of capacity in Alberta through the WPACs. It's quite impressive. They've matured. I think we've all matured quite a bit in terms of our awareness of the job, because the WPAC was an ideological concept put out 5 or 6 years ago, well, basically identified in Water for Life in 2003. But there wasn't a lot of prescription about how WPAC should function, issues about board governance that I've just spoken about. There's been a lot of growth in all of them, and I think we're all getting quite a bit stronger for it. We have an annual meeting, which I would encourage you to attend. This year it's down in Milk River. It's being hosted by the Milk River Council. And it's a fun couple of days. It'll be education as well as tours and getting to know the other WPAC representatives from Alberta. So I highly encourage you to consider that.